Hello there, aspiring Tennos. I would like to show you something. So yeah, Gyre is actually pretty damn good. Now, I'm using Corpus enemies this time around because the stronger Grineer units like Heavy Gunners actually have a kind of armor that makes them more resilient towards electricity damage, which is all the damage that Gyre will be dealing. So because of that, this is only viable for Corpus on the steel path, but it is viable for all enemy types on normal steel chart. Unfortunately, we will make a weapon built in the near future, which will be viable for Grineer as well, so you can experience Gyre there as well, though I will say there are many other frames that would be better for that. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at our newest Warframe and see how I've built her. Brief respite, as always, this is for our shield gating, more on that later. We're also using Rolling Guard, that is our 2 defensive mods. We don't really care about trying to reduce how much damage we take because, you know, you can't tank on this Warframe. He doesn't have any innate defensives mechanisms except for the shock procs. I'll talk more on that in a different video, why that doesn't really work. So we're using Rolling Guard to stay a little bit extra safe with shield gating as well. Then her 3rd and her 4th ability really benefit from having ability strength, so we stacked almost 200% of that. We also need reins because, well, otherwise we're not going to be able to spread our damage efficiently, and Warframe is a game about killing hordes after all, so that's kind of important. We also need a lot of duration because both our 1st, 3rd and 4th ability, and by the way, this breed Surge, I borrowed this from Wisp, but you can achieve kind of sort of almost the same result with her original 1st ability, but you won't be nearly as safe because you will lose out on the blind. Anyways, the one stat that I've decided to dump here is efficiency, but if you don't have access to Arcane Energize, this is not going to work for you. So what you'll need to do instead is that you need to bring out Fleeting Expertise, and then you'll need to use some kind of other method of gaining energy. This could be the Energy Arcane for Saws, for example. There are many options. You can pick your poison. But anyways, if you have access to Arcane Energize, I strongly recommend that you use Streamline. It will not make the build any better, but it will make it more comfortable to play. Now, our utility weapon this time around will be the Piranha Prime. And utility weapon means that we won't be killing anything with it, but we're using Augur Seeker and Augur Pact to get enough shield back when we cast an ability. I'll talk about shield gating at the end. We have a lot of attack speed on this weapon because we want to be able to remove the nullifier bubbles quickly, and this weapon is great for that when built with a lot of fire rate. Anyways, so let's actually talk about shield gating. It's pretty basic, but basically with Brief Respite and 2 Augur mods, we have enough shield regain on ability cast that when we cast any of our abilities, we will gain back all of our shields. So we will fully recharge them, which means that if we then fully deplete them afterwards, we'll get a 1.3 second window of invulnerability. And that is great for a Warframe like Gyre that has a lot of issues when it comes to survivability. Now, one more thing before we end the video, and by the way, don't mind the cool Brahma. Sure, I'll show you the build. This is just my preference. This is a bit of an experimental build. I don't recommend this one. It's more of a joke, but it's my weapon of choice. Bring whatever primary you want, but you will be dealing damage with her abilities anyways, so you don't really need it, but it's a good, you know, contingency plan to have a good primary weapon if you have one. Then, oh yeah, also by the way, very important, do use a Decaying Dragon Key, otherwise this build will not work, because then you'll have too much shield capacity and you will not be able to fully refill your shields with an ability cast. But, companions, we're going to be using the Panzer Profiler. This is the best combat-oriented companion in my opinion, and the important mods here are Viral Quills, which will apply viral to enemies, which is the best status effect in the game, so having ready access to that is really good. And then we'll be using Panzer Devolution. The Panzer Profiler never truly dies when using this, and so basically when it dies it will turn into a sentinel and it'll continue to apply the viral quills, as you can see here, and then after a little while it will then revive itself as a normal companion, so you don't have to micromanage it all the time, which is very nice. The rest of this is just filler, you know, animal instinct and fets, all that good stuff. You don't need this. This is for a different build, so don't worry about it. I just keep it here because I don't need the slot for anything else. And that's basically all there is to that. So that's pretty much the Gyre build. I will now go ahead and show you some footage from the Steel Path. And I will see you in the next one, where we will probably talk about the new focus. Anyways, see you then.